The night sky over Earth was peaceful, stars twinkling as always, unaware of the monumental event about to unfold. Across the globe, satellites orbited in silence, relaying streams of information to Earth's surface. Then, without warning, an anomaly appeared, an object so massive that its presence distorted space around it. At first, astronomers believed it to be an error in their systems, a glitch in the sensors, but the readings were consistent. Something enormous had entered the solar system, moving with a level of precision that defied everything humanity had encountered before. Within minutes, the object adjusted its trajectory, slowing down unnaturally as it neared Earth. Every military radar, deep space telescope, and classified defense satellite locked onto it, sending urgent warnings across the highest levels of government. The world was no longer alone. Panic spread through command centers across the globe as experts struggled to understand what they were seeing. This was not a meteor, not a rogue asteroid. This was a structured, intelligently designed object. The sheer size of the vessel was staggering. It dwarfed the International Space Station by an unimaginable scale, casting a shadow that seemed to swallow the stars behind it. Unlike anything built by human hands, the surface of the ship shimmered with an unidentifiable material, shifting between colors as if reacting to the very fabric of space itself. Then, as silently as it had appeared, the ship came to a complete stop just beyond Earth's atmosphere. The implications were clear. Whoever was on board was not here by accident. Global leaders scrambled to respond. The United Nations held emergency meetings, military forces were placed on high alert, and scientists from every major space agency worked frantically to analyze the data. However, despite all the noise on Earth, the sky remained silent. There was no transmission, no demand, no greeting. The alien vessel simply hovered above the planet, watching. The absence of communication was, perhaps, more terrifying than any declaration of war could have been. It meant that whoever had arrived did not consider humanity worthy of immediate dialogue. To them, Earth was either insignificant or merely an experiment waiting to be observed. Then, as the world held its breath, the first signal came, a frequency unlike any ever detected before, resonating across multiple spectrums, yet strangely understandable. It was not a language in the traditional sense, but a carefully crafted combination of mathematical structures, universal constants, and energy pulses. It was a message designed not to be heard but to be felt, an undeniable proof of superior intelligence. Every attempt to respond was met with silence, as if the visitors were testing humanity's ability to comprehend. When no answer came that satisfied them, they finally took the next step: direct interaction. Without warning, every screen on Earth flickered. Television broadcasts, computer monitors, holographic displays, even the simplest mobile phones, all went dark for a brief moment before displaying the same chilling image. The alien vessel, now impossibly close, its surface shifting like liquid metal. A voice, or something resembling a voice, echoed through every device, not in any known language, but in pure intent, bypassing the barriers of speech and entering directly into the minds of those who listened. The message was simple: observation has begun. Fear spread through the public like wildfire. Some believed this was a peaceful first contact, an opportunity for humanity to reach beyond its world. Others were convinced it was the beginning of an invasion. Governments debated whether to respond with diplomacy or military force, but before they could decide, the aliens acted again. A beam of light, too precise and controlled to be random, extended from the ship and enveloped the entire planet in an invisible field. Satellites, probes, and even the most classified defense mechanisms detected the change, but could do nothing to stop it. The field was scanning, mapping every detail of Earth, reaching deeper than any human technology ever could. Every system, every structure, every living being was being cataloged. However, as the aliens analyzed the planet, something unexpected happened. Their technology, flawless across the countless worlds they had studied before, began to struggle. They had encountered civilizations with lesser technology, primitive species that barely understood the cosmos. But humanity was different. Deep beneath the surface, hidden within layers of secrecy and deception, were things they had not anticipated. Their scans met resistance, encryption beyond their understanding, energy sources that defied known physics, weapons that should not exist. The simple, unassuming planet they had arrived at was far more dangerous than they had calculated. On board the alien vessel, the crew was silent, their organic and artificial minds struggling to process what they had uncovered. Earth was not the helpless world they had expected. The humans, despite appearing divided and chaotic, had achieved something remarkable. They had hidden their true capabilities, not only from their own kind, but from the galaxy itself. The decision had been made long ago by those who understood that the universe was not a place of peace but of conflict. Instead of announcing themselves to the stars, humanity had chosen secrecy, building in silence, preparing for the day they would be found. That day had now arrived, and the visitors were beginning to realize their mistake. Down on Earth, military forces were already mobilizing, not in panic, but in careful precision. The world's most powerful weapons, hidden from public knowledge, were being activated. Communications between the highest levels of government carried a singular message. They are not in control. We are. The leaders of Earth were no longer asking whether they should respond. They were preparing their own test. If the aliens believed themselves superior, then it was time to show them just how wrong they were. For the first time in history, humanity was not looking at the stars in wonder. They were looking with the cold, calculated stare of a species that had spent generations preparing for war. The aliens had come to observe, but now they were the ones being watched. The alien vessel remained suspended above Earth, silent and motionless, yet its very presence sent waves of unease across the planet. Humanity had always speculated about extraterrestrial life, but no one had expected the first visitors to arrive so suddenly, without warning or explanation. While the world's governments struggled to decide their next move, the ship continued its analysis, sending invisible waves of energy across the atmosphere, scanning, searching, attempting to decode the nature of this seemingly primitive world. But as their study deepened, something began to go wrong. Their instruments, built with technology far superior to anything known in the galaxy, started returning contradictory data. Earth's surface readings fluctuated unpredictably. Energy sources appeared and disappeared within milliseconds, and most unsettling of all, several regions of the planet seemed completely unreadable. The aliens had encountered primitive species before, civilizations barely capable of sending signals beyond their own atmosphere. But Earth was something else. It was as if the entire planet was wrapped in a deception so profound that even their most advanced tools struggled to unravel it. On board the alien ship, confusion spread among the crew. Their initial assessment had been simple. Earth was a young, undeveloped world, one that could either be studied or manipulated with ease. Yet as their scans progressed, that assumption crumbled. The largest cities emitted energy patterns unlike anything cataloged in their records. Instead of crude fossil fuels or inefficient nuclear power, they detected something far more refined, an energy signature that pulsed with a complexity they couldn't immediately understand. Their databases ran millions of calculations, comparing it to every known source in the galaxy, yet there was no match. And then came the first real shock. Deep within the oceans, hidden under vast layers of water, they detected structures. Gigantic, metallic, with energy fields so strong that their scanners malfunctioned upon contact. These were not natural formations. These were artificial, built with precision and purpose, hidden beneath the surface where no ordinary eye could see. The alien commander, a being of logic and experience, felt something unfamiliar creeping into his thoughts. Unease. The Galactic Concord had long believed itself the dominant force of the known universe, its fleets capable of crushing resistance wherever it was found. Yet here, above this seemingly insignificant world, they faced an enigma. If Earth was truly as primitive as they had assumed, how could it possess structures capable of blocking their scans? How could its people generate power sources that defied their understanding? Even more alarming was what their deep space probes had uncovered. Earth had launched missions beyond its own planet, sending machines to explore the void of space with precision far exceeding that of a race still in its early stages. More troubling than that, their radio signals contained no confusion, no frantic messages of awe or fear. Instead, the communications between Earth's governments remained structured, careful, controlled. It was as if they were not surprised by the visitors at all. As the alien scientists worked furiously to decode Earth's hidden strengths, another revelation struck them. The planet's defense systems were far more advanced than they had realized. At first, they had dismissed the orbiting satellites and ground-based facilities as mere observational tools, relics of a species still grasping at the edges of interstellar knowledge. But when they attempted to breach the planet's data networks, their systems crashed. Entire sections of their own ship went dark for several seconds, overridden by an external force they could neither trace nor counteract. This was impossible. No species they had encountered, not even the most technologically superior among the Concord, had ever been able to interfere with their systems so effortlessly. The realization hit them hard. Earth was not just hiding its technology. It was actively defending itself, even against an enemy it had never seen before. Panic began to spread through the alien ranks. Some argued that they should leave immediately, while others insisted on further study. The commander, despite his growing concern, refused to accept that they had miscalculated so gravely. Perhaps humanity had simply developed a few unexpected tricks, nothing more. But just as he began to rationalize their findings, Earth responded in a way no one had anticipated. Without warning, every screen within the alien vessel flickered to life, displaying a message. It was written in their own language, perfectly structured, as if composed by one of their own scholars. The words were simple but chilling. "You are being observed." The bridge fell into stunned silence. For the first time, they realized they were not the only ones conducting an analysis. Humanity had been watching them just as closely, measuring their capabilities, understanding their movements. This was not the behavior of a species encountering an advanced civilization for the first time. This was the behavior of a race that had prepared for this moment. It was then that the commander made a critical decision: initiate a full-scale energy scan, ignoring all previous precautions. If Earth was truly as powerful as the data suggested, then they needed to see the full scope of its technology, no matter the consequences. The scan lasted only seconds, but the results were devastating. The energy burst they released was meant to disrupt and analyze, forcing hidden systems to reveal themselves. Instead, it was met with something entirely unexpected: resistance. A counterpulse erupted from the planet, not from a single location, but from multiple points across the globe, targeting the alien ship directly. Before they could react, their navigation systems failed, their shields fluctuated violently, and every light in the control room dimmed. The ship had been struck, not by missiles or crude weaponry, but by an energy wave so precise that it targeted their most vital systems without causing external damage. It was a warning, a final, undeniable message that Earth was not helpless. In that moment, the commander understood the truth. Humanity had been underestimated, not because of ignorance, but by design. They had hidden their progress, deliberately masked their capabilities, ensuring that if and when they were discovered, they would not be seen as prey. This was not a world waiting to be conquered. This was a fortress, disguised as a fragile planet. As their systems slowly recovered, the commander made the only logical decision left: withdraw and report back. But deep inside, he knew that the Concord had already lost something far greater than a battle. They had lost the illusion of control. As the alien vessel drifted away from Earth, one final transmission reached them, short and direct: "You are not ready for us." The alien armada arrived in Earth's orbit with the arrogance of a conquering force. Their fleet, A colossal formation of warships loomed over the planet like silent predators, their dark hulls reflecting the cold void of space. To them, this was just another primitive world, another insignificant species that would kneel before superior technology. The Galactic Dominion had expanded its empire for centuries, crushing civilizations that dared to resist. Earth, they believed, would be no different. Their first transmission was not a greeting, not a negotiation, it was a demand. Surrender, obey, serve. They expected fear, panic, and desperation. Instead, they received only silence. On the surface, Earth's leaders gathered in secret command centers, watching the sky with grim determination. They had always known this day would come. For decades, they had prepared in silence, masking their true power behind carefully staged deceptions. The world believed itself to be limited, struggling, advancing slowly through science and technology. But that was a lie. Hidden beneath the oceans, deep within the mountains, and buried in places where no satellite could see, humanity had built weapons beyond imagination. Not crude missiles or outdated defenses, but something else entirely, power that defied conventional understanding. The aliens had come expecting an easy victory, but they had walked into a carefully laid trap. The first sign of Earth's response came in the form of a simple message, broadcast across every channel in perfect, fluent galactic standard. Leave now. This is your only warning. The alien commander, a veteran of countless wars, laughed at the audacity of such defiance. He ordered a demonstration, a single strike to remind this primitive race of their place. One of the warships moved into position, its energy cannons charging, aimed at a major city. The people below watched in silence, their fate seemingly sealed. The energy discharge erupted in a brilliant, blinding beam, descending toward Earth like the fist of an angry god. And then it stopped. The beam did not hit the surface. It did not even pass through the atmosphere. It simply vanished, consumed, neutralized. The alien officers stared in disbelief as their screens flickered with unreadable data. This was impossible. No known technology could intercept energy of that magnitude, let alone erase it entirely. Yet Earth had done so without effort, without revealing the source of its defense. The fleet adjusted, recalibrating weapons, preparing for another strike. But something had changed. The stars themselves seemed to shift, the void around them bending in ways that defied the laws of physics. The aliens felt it now, a presence, something vast and unseen, watching them from the depths of space. Then the retaliation began. Earth's counterattack did not come in the form of missiles or crude kinetic weapons. Instead, it was silent, invisible, yet devastating. The lead warship lost power first, its systems shutting down in an instant, leaving it adrift like a lifeless husk. One by one, the Dominion's vessels experienced the same fate. Shields collapsed, weapons became useless, engines failed. Panic spread through the fleet as the realization set in. They were not just being attacked, they were being dismantled. Their systems were no longer under their control. Earth was inside their technology, rewriting the very fabric of their ships in real time. The alien commander, once so sure of his superiority, now felt true fear. He barked orders, demanding a full retreat, but it was already too late. One of the smaller ships exploded without warning, not from an external strike, but from within, its structure torn apart by forces they could not understand. Another vessel simply ceased to exist, vanishing without trace, as if erased from reality itself. This was no ordinary resistance. This was a message. On Earth, the people watched the sky, waiting. The true power of their world had remained a secret for so long, hidden beneath layers of deception. But now, the illusion was breaking. The universe would learn the truth. Humanity was not weak. It was not defenseless. It was not prey. It was a force beyond comprehension, a civilization that had outgrown the limits imposed by lesser minds. The aliens had come expecting to conquer, Instead, they had found something far worse, an enemy they could not understand, could not predict, and most terrifying of all, could not stop. The few remaining ships that still functioned flowed into the depths of space, their once mighty fleet reduced to ruins. The Dominion, the greatest power in the galaxy, had been humiliated. Their attempt to subjugate Earth had not only failed, but it had revealed a terrifying truth. Humanity had surpassed them. They were no longer just another race among the stars. They were something else, something greater. And now, the galaxy knew. As the last alien vessel vanished from the sky, another message echoed through the remnants of their broken fleet, sent from the planet below. This was mercy. Do not return. The Galactic Council had long believed in its own dominance, ruling over countless star systems with an iron grip. Their knowledge was vast, their archives spanning thousands of years of exploration and conquest. They prided themselves on understanding every species, every civilization, every hidden secret in the galaxy. But there was one mystery they had never been able to solve, one planet that had always remained an enigma: Earth. To the outside world, it was nothing more than a developing world, a place still struggling with the fundamentals of space travel. The Council had never considered it a threat, never viewed its people as anything more than an insignificant species confined to their own solar system. But something did not add up. For centuries, their probes had mysteriously vanished near its orbit. Their spies had failed to send back reports. Even the most advanced surveillance technology could not penetrate the planet's defenses. It was as if something was actively hiding the truth. And so, the Council sent their most skilled investigator, a auxiliary named Valcor, to uncover the secrets of Earth once and for all. Valcor's ship entered Earth's orbit with extreme caution. The planet looked ordinary, almost disappointingly primitive. No visible planetary defenses, no signs of advanced technology, just vast oceans, towering mountains, and endless stretches of land. Yet, his instruments flickered with static, unable to lock onto specific locations. He attempted to scan deeper, but something blocked his sensors, distorting his readings. It was subtle, but undeniable. Earth was not what it seemed. Deciding to take a direct approach, he landed in a secluded area, cloaking his ship to remain unseen. The air was breathable, the gravity stable. Everything felt normal. And yet there was an overwhelming sensation that he was being watched, not by machines or satellites, but by something else, something aware of his presence. As he moved through the human settlements, he observed their behavior. They laughed, worked, and lived their lives with an ease that seemed almost naive. But beneath that simplicity there was something unsettling: their eyes. They did not look at him, but they looked through him, as if they knew exactly who and what he was. He activated his disguise, blending into the crowd, yet the feeling of being observed never left him. It was then that he noticed something else. Humans did not fear the sky. Most species, when faced with the possibility of alien contact, looked to the stars with a mix of awe and terror. But humans did not. They walked beneath the vastness of space without concern, without even the slightest worry of what might be watching. It was almost as if they already knew. Valcor infiltrated a restricted facility, bypassing what he thought were primitive security systems. Inside, he expected to find blueprints of outdated war machines or early spaceflight technology. Instead, he found records, ancient records that did not belong to a species still learning to navigate the stars. These were not documents of discovery, but of containment. Warnings, logs of encounters with species far more advanced than the Council itself. Detailed reports of conflicts that had never been recorded in galactic history, battles that should have been impossible for a planet like Earth to survive. Yet here they were, written in precise detail, as if humanity had been dealing with extraterrestrial threats for centuries. He scrolled through the files, each one more shocking than the last. Encounters with Dominion warships that had ended not in Earth's destruction, but in the enemy's unexplained retreat. Reports of alien incursions that had been repelled with no record of how. The more he read, the more the pieces fell into place. Humanity was not ignorant of the galaxy. They were not struggling to catch up. They had never been behind to begin with. Then the screen flickered. A new file opened on its own. No commands were entered. No signals were detected. But the message was clear. Someone knew he was here. The words on the screen were simple, yet they sent a chill through him. You were never in control. The lights flickered. A low hum filled the room. His disguise failed, revealing his true form, and for the first time in his long career, Velcor felt fear. He turned to run, but the exit was gone, replaced by an endless void of darkness. A voice echoed through the facility, calm yet powerful. Did you really think you could uncover the truth? The shadows shifted, and from them emerged a figure, human in shape, but radiating something beyond physical form. We have been watching your kind for a long time, the voice continued. We let you believe you ruled the galaxy. We let you think Earth was weak. But the truth, Velcor, is that your people were never the hunters. You were always the prey. He tried to speak, to demand answers, but the presence before him was overwhelming. It was as if the very fabric of reality bent around this being. Then, in an instant, he was back on his ship, orbiting Earth once more. His logs were gone. His scans were erased. His mission was over before it had even begun. As he stared at the planet below, now seeming far more terrifying than before, a final message appeared on his screen. Leave and never return. Velcor did not hesitate. He engaged his engines, fleeing into the depths of space, his mind haunted by a single, undeniable truth. Earth was not a mystery to be solved. It was a secret that was never meant to be uncovered. The Galactic Council had ruled the known universe for thousands of years, maintaining control through an intricate web of alliances, technology, and sheer military dominance. They had seen the rise and fall of countless civilizations, crushing any that dared to challenge their authority. But something had changed. A new force had emerged, one that no one had expected, one that should have been insignificant, one that now threatened to shift the balance of power forever. That force was humanity. For centuries, Earth had remained a minor world in the grand scheme of the galaxy. Other empires had dismissed it as a primitive civilization, struggling to leave its own solar system. The Council's spies had watched, observed, and laughed at humanity's slow progress, confident that they would never pose a threat. But then, without warning, the humans did something impossible. They expanded. Not gradually, not through slow, methodical exploration, but in a way that defied all logic. Their ships, once clunky and outdated, suddenly appeared in distant star systems, equipped with technology that should have taken centuries to develop. Their weapons, once laughably weak, now matched those of the most powerful war fleets. Their tactics, unpredictable and ruthless, shattered enemy formations with terrifying efficiency. It was as if humanity had leaped forward by 1,000 years overnight, and the Council had no idea how. Grand Chancellor Xavar sat in the heart of the Council chamber, his reptilian eyes scanning the gathered representatives of the galactic powers. Fear lingered in the air. Whispers of human victory spread like wildfire. Reports of entire fleets vanishing without a trace. Worlds that once stood under the Council's protection, now quietly shifting their allegiance to Earth. The humans had not declared war. They had not made threats. And yet, their very presence had begun to unravel the Council's grip on the galaxy. How did this happen? Xavar growled, slamming his fist against the table. The holographic display before him flickered, showing the latest battle reports. The Zargoth Armada, one of the strongest fleets in the Council's forces, had engaged a human battle group near the Tauros expanse. By all calculations, the humans should have been annihilated. They were outnumbered 3-1, their ships were lighter, and their fleet lacked the traditional energy shielding used by most advanced species. But instead of destruction, the humans had wiped the Zargoth Armada from existence in less than an hour. No survivors, no distress signals, just silence. Their technology, it is evolving too fast, spoke a nervous-looking Xaravian delegate. Our scientists estimate that they have made progress in a few decades that took our civilizations millennia. The murmurs in the chamber grew louder. Speculations turned into theories, but none could explain how the humans had achieved this. Had they discovered ancient knowledge? Had they unlocked forbidden science? Or worse, had they always been hiding their true strength? As the council debated, the humans made their next move. A transmission echoed across the galaxy, broadcasted on every frequency. The image of a human representative appeared on the screens, calm, confident, unshaken. To the leaders of the Galactic Council, he began. For centuries, you have ruled through fear, through control, through suppression of those who sought to rise. That era ends today. We do not seek war, but we will not kneel. We do not seek to conquer, but we will not be threatened. The balance of power has changed. The age of submission is over. The message cut out, leaving only silence behind. The council reacted with outrage. How dare a species so young, so inexperienced, challenge their rule? Armadas were assembled. Plans of counterattacks were drawn. But before they could strike, something far worse happened. Their own allies began to turn. The oppressed species, the ones who had long suffered under the Council's rule, now saw a new power rising, one that did not rule through fear, but through strength and defiance. The Dracari Republic, the Velnari clans, even the rebellious factions within the Council's own forces, all of them began pledging their support to humanity. Then the final blow came. A fleet of human warships appeared in the skies above Exovar's homeworld, not firing a single shot, not making a single demand. They simply waited, letting their presence alone send the message. The Council had ruled for thousands of years, believing themselves untouchable. But now, the reality was clear. They were no longer the strongest force in the galaxy. They were no longer in control. Humanity had changed the game, and nothing would ever be the same again.